What's up? What's up? What's up, people? It is Damien, and so soon we are the framework. We bring reason and logic to the barber shop. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm feeling my energy's feeling a little weird, but it's a Wednesday, and that's always an exciting time because we get to bring reason and logic to the barbershop on something important to the world.
Word. So today is a bit of a one of the other ways in which we use the framework to basically do what we do. We're gonna play a game called This or That. You know the old school song This or That by Black Sheep. We are actually going to use the framework to compare use the framework attributes to help explain preference when comparing bodies of work. So the idea behind this is like we're not trying to say this is good, this is bad, this is better, this is worse. We know that as individuals we have our preferences, and that is just based off our individual biases, our assumptions, our influences, and things like that. But where we can use the framework to actually make this an enjoyable conversation and discussion with the audience is by using the attributes to go do a this or that, meaning which do you prefer based on this attribute, based on this category, based on this question. So we have a few different things we're going to cover over the show. If you're in the chat, we want to just shout y'all out. Thank y'all for being there. Everybody who supports us. Thank everybody who just donates, who tunes in, who watches the replay, all of that stuff. How are you today, sir? Hello,
Sorry, I'm
can you
out
hear
here
me?
trying to unmute. I'm good. No, I heard you loud and clear.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm good. Actually, before we jump in, while we're still waiting for folks to join and all that good stuff, we're not gonna waste too much time on that. But there's a few things that I did want to say. First of all, huge shout out to everybody who has watched correct me if I'm wrong. Was it our most recent uploaded video? EPMD2.
Mm-hmm.
EPMD2, our most current short form video, and there's some ironies to this that I'll talk about very briefly, at current has 787 views. So shouts to everybody who watched that. There's been a lot of banter, in total 62 comments and counting of people who have had some thoughts about our review. If you haven't seen it yet, please make sure you go check that out. We had a lot of fun shooting it. In the realm of, I won't say bad news, but other news, we were actively trying to upload a review we did for Way Too Sexy, the music video from Drake's Certified Lover Boy, which is one of the entities we're going to be talking about in today's show. And because YouTube has some heavier restrictions on some content than others, we have to recut it to make sure it gets up there. So unfortunately, y'all gotta wait a little bit, but it'll be worth the wait, and I'm pretty sure y'all enjoy it. We had a lot of fun shooting it and talking about the video, and it's a fun video. So I just wanted to throw those things out there real quick. But thank you to everybody, and you already said this, so I'm just kind of reiterating it. We appreciate the continued support to all of our fans and viewers who watch the short form content and come and talk that shit with us here on the show.
Yeah, plug away, yo. Every time you plug something, I think we get more views, we get more support. So plug away. Shameless
One more,
promotion. Yeah, go ahead.
since you encouraged me to plug away. Shouts to the Fugees. For folks who don't know, they announced that they are rejoining forces to celebrate the 25th anniversary of their classic, The Score. This had so much reverence that my partner was bumping the score prior to me leaving the crib to film today's episode here at Framework Studios. But shouts to them. And the reason why I bring that up is because if you haven't already seen it, we do have a review for, oh my God, now I'm blanking on the name of the song. It's just kind of one of those days. Nobody, sorry. We have a review, short form review on our YouTube page for the song Nobody off of Nas's album King's Disease 2, featuring Lauryn Hill, Miss Lauryn Hill, and her first rap verse in well over a decade. And that has broke 700 views as well. So thank you to everybody for watching that. I don't like, people had a lot of thoughts about our review to EPMD2, and it has not even been a full week yet, and it surpassed every video that we have on our YouTube. So it just goes to show you never know what people are going to take an interest to talking about. But we're going to continue talking about the things, and y'all just keep letting us know what you want us to review.
Yeah, man. So with that being said, we're about to get ready to start this version, this game. Our first time we're doing it with y'all in our live stream called This or That. We're gonna have a little song and all that other stuff. We're gonna, get the production value up on that stuff. But for this show, we're going to be discussing, not comparing necessarily, Certified Lover Boy and Donda. These are the two most recent, most popular albums that have dropped this month, from Kanye West and Drake, respectfully. Um, and we're going to have a list of attributes, and we're going to discuss which album we preferred based on the framework, right? And then we have some questions that we want the audience to chime in on. So if we pick up an attribute and you think, let's say in lyrics, one album is better than the other, we need y'all to comment in the chat, explain your comments, because the commentary is always important. That's how we build that barbershop discussion. We need y'all here talking with us. Shout out to Gum City. She enjoyed the
What
review. We
up?
appreciate you. What's good? What's good? What's good? We got to get her on the show soon. We'll be talking about that. Just to come speak your piece, say what's on your mind. It'll be, if we always have fun with it, so just come through. Um, what's that? What's that? Oh, we have merchandise. Would you like to tell the people?
Absolutely. If you go to shopsosoonish.com, you will see on the main screen our framework t-shirts. We have the framework logo t-shirt, and then what Damien's wearing that says our logo, our tagline rather, the framework. We bring reason and logic to the barbershop. Both shirts are $17.99 before shipping and handling. Same price on both sites. The money's not going to us as individuals. It is going to the framework as we continue to expand the entity. So shopsosoonish.com or learningtoquotemyself.com/shop. Either one of those sites will get you to these shirts. They're in black and gray. The one I'm wearing comes in black or gray, and the one Damien's wearing comes black or gray. And in another couple of weeks, we will be unveiling the sweatshirts, hoodies, and snapback hats. So be on the
Yep.
lookout for that if you want to support the
Definitely be on the
framework.
lookout. Definitely be
Kudos
on the
to
lookout.
my homie for designing these. My homie is the gentleman on the right side of the screen. He designed these, and if you know me, you know I love fashion. So I have no problem wearing this shirt. It's not the kind of thing where I'm wearing it because I have to rep the brand. It's fashionable to me. So if it's fashionable to me, it's fashionable for your ass. Make sure you go buy one. It is cost effective too. So
Facts. So you ready to get into this, real?
let's get into it. I'm excited.
All right. So again, I'm just going to explain the rules. This or that, we are discussing Certified Lover Boy and Donda based on the framework's attributes. You let us know what you preferred if you've heard both albums. We're also going to give you a rundown of some like songs you should check out. You might like every song on the album. You might not like any song on the album. We're gonna give you a couple of joints that we think you should check out for whatever reason. It may be the lyrics, it may be the beat, it may be the flow, it may be the energy, the vibe, the content. It could be something on the song that kind of made us say, you know what, we should recommend people check this one out. If you care. Um, where would you like to start? You want to start with the categories? You want to start with the song recommendations? You want to start with the random questions that we had?
Let's start with the categories.
That
I
sounds
think
good.
that's a good place
Okay.
to start.
So, so soon, this or that for the category of lyrics, which is defined by words on the page Do you go? Do we go Certified Lover Boy or do we go Donda?
So yeah,
And why?
the framework felt that Certified Lover Boy hit better in the lyrics area. Um, so when you're thinking about lyrics and words on the page, we're obviously, for those new to the framework, we're not just thinking about the main artist, which in the case of these two projects is Drake and Kanye. We're also thinking about their features. We thought that the features brought it lyrically on Drake's album. We thought that Drake, when he wasn't doing too much singing, brought bars like when he chose to like rap, like what we know he can do. He was bringing some high quality bars, and so yeah, that's why we chose that. And now again, this new style of framework that we're presenting to you, this or that, doesn't mean that the lyrics on Donda were whack. No, but we also know when you look at the trajectory of the two, and this is not even looking at the albums, we're just looking at, I'm just pulling back for a second and looking at the artist. Drake is has been known more as an MC than Kanye has. So that's not, a far fetched thought to think that Drake would have the better, or Drake's album would have the better lyrics rather. So for lyrics, framework chose Certified Lover Boy as the better project.
Hmm. All right. Yeah, I don't have
Let
much
me,
more to add on that. You ready?
yeah. I was going to say, yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't. I wasn't even trying to give you an opportunity to speak on that. I was about to jump straight into the next category, but since you
You
said you
trying
don't
to do
have
a
much to,
you trying to do a mic drop? It's all good. You
nah,
got it.
nah, nah, nah. I
You
didn't
got
say
it,
anything
son.
that compelling. But going to the next category, looking at the flow, which we define as vocal patterns used to recite the lyrics, one of our favorite categories to rate, particularly in our short form content. What did the framework decide between CLB, if you hear me say that, y'all know that's Certified Lover Boy, or Donda? What say you, sir?
So the framework chose Certified Lover Boy in terms of the this or that for flow. In terms of actually rapping on the beats, there is much more of that happening on Certified Lover Boy. So there is just more opportunity for them to experiment with different flows, use different flows, and the different artists brought what they wanted to the song. So there is much more variety of flow on Certified Lover Boy, which is not to say that Donda doesn't have variety of flow. It actually does. But if you compare the two, there is more flow, experimentation, vocal patterns, and stuff being used on Certified Lover Boy than Donda. Um, this or that, so soon. Production, which is the background music and sound effects that accompany the song or project. Certified Lover Boy or Donda.
This was a really fun conversation. I mean, all of them are, fun and interesting conversations when we're planning for the shows, but this was especially a fun conversation because we both listened to both albums several times. And when it got time to kind of make this decision, there was almost a mistake, but because of thorough investigation, we got it. So Gum City has written in the chat, Donda, and I'm not going to say you're correct, but that is what the framework has chosen. We chose Donda over Certified Lover Boy. So this is what it comes down to, right? They both have good production on them, on the albums overall, but Donda, the cohesion. So Damien gave us the definition, the framework definition of production, which is background music and sound effects that accompany the song, or in this case, the project. Don, the cohesion in the songs, the even when Kanye using samples, Kanye and whatever other producers contributed to the album are using samples, there's a cohesion that sounds just really good from one track to the next. Another thing that we felt is that you can hear a bit of a sonic evolution on Donda from previous Kanye works. The production on Drake's album on CLB, some of those beats sound like older Drake beats that they just kind of changed the synths on or changed some elements, used similar drums. so on and so
Mhm.
forth. And so, yeah, that's why we said that Donda wins. What say you to that?
I think it's one of those things when you just go from song to song and you play a song and the beat hits you. I think Kanye West has been excellent at doing that. Apologize, I'm over here doing some other technical things to try to get this laptop in the right spot so we can set it up right. This looks a little bit better, right? This looks a little bit better, don't it? Your mic is off, but
No, I know,
so
I know,
I
I
would
know.
say from song to song, every beat kind of hits you and gets you feeling a different way about it. Even the more slow, very sing-songy type, I don't even know if you want to call it R&B beats. It like the vibe and the musicality of the album is really one of the highlights of the Donda album. You ready?
Yeah, I'm shaking my head. I totally agree with you. And I am ready. Moving right along to the next category. So this or that. Which album between CLB and Donda had better collabs? And we're looking at the
So
overall list of collaborations and what they brought to the project.
we are looking at the overall collabs, but there is one song that takes the cake. It also takes your girl. It also takes your bee.
Wait, are you
Um,
skipping ahead?
no, no, we talk. You said collabs.
Yeah, 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 yeah. You go
So,
ahead. No, go ahead. Excuse me.
in terms of collabs, Donda gets it because they had more, in my opinion, impactful collaborations. A lot of Drake songs, they're just collabs that weren't like as impactful as yes, Gum City understands the TYB music in the building. If you know
Have
how,
y'all
if
been?
you know what,
Did y'all have this conversation already behind scenes on
I have
Gum
no
City?
idea what you're talking about. I don't know who Gum City is. We just peoples on the show. Look, why you out here dry snitching? We know The Weeknd is one of the most popular artists out now, and Little Baby is also one of the most popular artists. But on Hurricane, if you listen to that beat and The Weeknd go off, and this song is probably one of the best songs. It might be one of the most popular songs of this year. It's crazy. And oh, see, Gum City is shouting it out right now. Look, Gum City said they saw the review. Check out the short form content. We did a review. TYB music is is a real thing. I think Gum City said, "I'm outside. I'm outside." Huh? Huh? Yeah. But no, so for collaborations, when we think of the Locks, when we think of Jay Electronica, when we think of um Baby Keem, who had a really like that verse can be discussed for many different reasons. Like it was high points, low points, what's good, Gons. Um, when you think of Jay, you think of the baby, all of these people on the album, they brought it. Like you can't say that any feature was lackluster. Every feature had their moments on this album. Whereas not to compare, but Certified Lover Boy, the features aren't a highlight of the album. I would say it's good, it's great, but the features on Donda were just very impactful. Every time you heard somebody on the feature, the Fabio, all of those was just like, okay, these people are here to like do their thing. Fun fact: the best feature ain't even on the album. I'll let you speak on that so soon.
All these entry points to talk about the short form content that we've been doing. So if you haven't already checked it out, we did a review on Life of the Party by Kanye featuring Andre 3000. There's speculation Drake leaked it. I don't care. We don't care about that. It is a fire record, hands down. Both Kanye and Stax did their thing on the record. And yes, without a doubt, if that song made the Donda album 10 times over, that would have been, no, I won't say 10 times over, only because what you said earlier, the Weeknd, what he brought. Now, I don't listen to a lot of Weeknd personally, but what he brought to Hurricane was great. However, that verse that Three Stacks put on Life of the Party, if that song would have made the Donda album, we in homie talk and behind the scenes slash barbershop talk, Damien and I, it's only 2021. We're talking about perhaps best verse of the decade. It was that good of a verse.
No, it was that fire. I can't disagree with you at all. You're right. You're absolutely right on that.
So
So right
moving,
now we have
yeah.
for lyrics and flow, we gave it to Certified Lover Boy, but for production and collaboration, we gave it to Donda. So if we were trying to score this in any way, shape, or form, it'd be 2-2. This or that so soon. The track list of album. Which album did the framework prefer the track list on?
So for track list, the framework selected. I had it and I lost it. Certified Lover Boy. Um, and this is an interesting, another interesting discussion. Certified Lover Boy. So this actually is a good time to get into this. So Certified Lover Boy had, I believe, 21 total tracks on it. Donda had 27. Of the 21 for Certified Lover Boy, there's 16 that we think that folks should take a listen to. You think I should run those off? What do you think?
Don't.
Okay.
We'll talk
Okay.
about
Yeah.
them later.
Right. Donda, we think, has 13 songs that you may want to consider checking out. That's part of what plays into it. So album cohesion is one thing, but in terms of track list, playback value, things of that nature, that's why we gave it to Certified Lover Boy.
Mhm. Yeah, that the tracks are just as individual entities, we probably would say Drake has a bunch that you would listen to, you would give a shot to maybe a couple of times. Kanye's have either you will like them, you'll give them a listen. Like it's a little bit more definitive. So in terms of track list, you're gonna give Certified Lover Boy a little bit more time. And I think that has to do with content, it has to do with preference, and all of those things play an important role. But Donda is a Christian album. So that if you're not into Christian music, it's not going to have the same lasting power. But if you are, it might have a much bigger lasting effect on you, the track list and what he's talking about and what they're referring to. Even the
Now,
musicality of it.
and this ties right into the next category. This or
Mhm.
that, sir. Album. Certified Lover Boy, Donda. Please, first, before you answer that, please help our viewing audience understand how the framework looks at album. And if you want to add any sprinkles in there about the difference between track list and album.
So album track list is literally just the songs. If we just looking at the songs itself. Album, you have to think about what the title of the album. I'm not a big person on sequencing, but that plays a part. What is the feel of the album? Is the creation actually cohesive? Or is it just it could it have been a mixtape that a DJ threw together? Or is this a project designed and created by or for this artist? So I think all of those things really matter when you think of an album. Like when you think of, and I don't want to just start throwing out names, but when you think of the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, that is Lauryn Hill. Like you get all of Lauryn Hill from that album. You can't be like, oh, I don't know if this everything fits. There is no debate. It's one of the greatest albums of all time. So yes, usually that's going to be the way we discuss it. But there's certain albums where you're like, no, this is that artist, and this is what that artist represents, and we're getting an in-depth look into that. And in terms of album, Donda got the this or that. It is a more cohesive album in terms of the impact, the title, the uh what's the word I'm looking for? The cohesion of the album, the musicality of the album as a whole. It has a more complete feel to it. It
I'd say
vibes, and
dynamic
as it
also.
goes down, the dynamic of the album, yes. Just in terms of like the content is referencing what he and his mother represent, you know, their beliefs, and that Christian music, what it is, it it plays throughout the entire album. So whatever you're getting, you're still getting that. You're getting various forms of that, which is very important when you think about album quality and album cohesion. And it isn't to compare to Certified Lover Boy, which people may think that's their favorite Drake album of all time. So we're just talking about, if you ask me to choose this or that, the framework chooses Donda, and that's why we chose Donda. It doesn't mean that Drake doesn't have those things, but we, based on the framework, we believe that Donda has more of it.
What it also means is that I personally, as an artist, am about a year to two out from transitioning to Christian rap entirely. That is a lie. If you believe that, then bigger miracles have happened. Gum City said both albums are artist specific, respectively. However, Donda is progressive and more thought out. CLB felt put together on a whim. I like that. I think that
That's a
speaks
great way.
to what we essentially are conveying in terms of why Donda gets the album versus tracklist. So
Mm-hmm.
it's important that we distinguish the difference between these two things. That's why I asked Damien if he would be so kind as to break it down, because again, when we talk about a framework, the purpose of why we do what we do is to make sure that when we're asking a question, that everybody's having the same conversation. Because you might say, "Oh, well, I like Certified Lover Boy because more of the songs." As Gum City just said it earlier in a comment, she can put it on and just play it through. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's more cohesive as an album.
Mm-hmm.
Those are two completely different things. So thank you
Good
for
point. Good
making that
point.
distinction, Damien, and thank you for all your points in the chat, Gum City, because you are hitting it right on the money.
Okay.
Ask me a
Um,
question. Ask me a question. Teacher, choose me. Choose me.
this or that impact, which is pushing boundaries, the styles, the flow, the ingenuity of a body of work or an album or a song. Which did the framework choose for impact?
Yeah, you alluded to this when you were breaking down an album, and that's fine because I'm happy to kind of dive deeper into it. But the framework chose Donda as the album that has a better impact. I think that when we look at the body of work, I like that term body of work. When we look at Donda as a body of work, um, I've been thinking this a lot, and I'm speaking for myself for this second to kind of bring context to why the framework chose it. It's making me further reconsider how I listen to Christian rap. And I know a couple of Christian rappers, only a small handful. I know there's some that are popular that I've listened. I've even gone to a concert. I got some free tickets or whatever. And so I went to one a few years ago. And I'm seeing a lot of rebranding. I've been meaning to talk to you about this, Damien. I think now is a good time to I'm curious your thoughts. But I'm seeing a lot of intentional rebranding where Christian rappers don't want to be categorized as Christian rappers because they feel like
Mm-hmm.
they're closing their market in doing that. And so I don't know what that terminology is that they're using. I'm sure they're using a whole bunch of different things. Neither here nor there. I think that this idea of pushing boundaries, which is something Kanye has always aspired to do in his career, whether we agree with it or not, as listeners, fans, once fans, maybe not. That it speaks to that. It speaks to the cohesion of the album and that you spoke about earlier. One of the things that stands out to me talking about impact is think about the list of collabs he had on the album and the fact that every single collaborator on that album was talking about God in their own unique way. But we're talking about some of the most hood of hood, street of street, barsmen of barsmen rappers really kind of getting, dare I say, vulnerable and talking about connection or lack thereof connection to God, so on and so forth. I found
Yeah.
that to be really fascinating. And there's curses. I don't even know if there's a version of the album that exists where the curses are not edited. but I know the version that I've been listening to has had the curses bleeded out or whatever. But I just find that so many of these layers to add to the impact and why we ultimately chose Donda. Again, I'll just wrap up this long diatribe. Shout out to King Virtue, one of his favorite phrases, by saying that looking at Donda again, and Gum City mentioned this in the comments, it feels, and Damien also mentioned this already, but it feels like a collection of a lot of songs versus like, so I don't find that having impact. We don't find that having impact. So sorry, I said a lot. I unloaded a lot on you. What say you?
So I would say when you think about impact, Certified Lover Boy seems like an album that'll disappear and we may not be talking about it a couple months from now. I feel like we would return back to Donda even just off a title alone and talk about it. Like, he did an album titled after his dead mother, Respect, Respect to the Dead. So I think there's certain aspects of this just entire project that we will be looking back at. What you just said. We got album where, we have some of the most non-religious people rapping about religious stuff, or maybe not non-religious, I don't know. But some of the people who have never rapped a a religious bar or whatever, man, maybe that's not true either, but you get what I'm saying. Like artists that we would not associate with Christian rap rapping on a Christian album, and praising God a specific way. We have a few more categories that we're going to get into. I want to talk about replayability. So, replayability is the lasting effect and the desire to play multiple times. Based off what we were talking about on Impact and Album, that also goes to Donda because I do believe Drake might get more streams. In terms of lasting effect, a year from now, will we be listening to those same Drake songs? Will we be turning back and talking about, yo, it took a while for this Donda song to grow on me, but it did. And we may not, because it's Christian, listen to it all the time, every day. We're not going to hear it in the club. But that lasting effect of a song is very different. What I would say. And that one went to Donda, even though certain songs on Certified Lover Boy are going to be like club favorites, but that's the club. Club is very specific. If you're making music for the club, it would get played in the club. You
Right.
ready for the next one? This or
If I
that?
could just say,
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
wait, just a quick thing to add. And I'm just citing examples because we did say we would talk about this a little bit later. I'm not about to run through an entire track list of either project, but when I look at Hurricane, when I look at what was the other song that we reviewed from Donda? Not Life of the Party, the one that's actually on it. Praise God, thank you, Jesus.
Praise God.
Thank you, Jesus. When I think about Hurricane and Praise God, I cite those as two really perfect examples of kind of like what speaks to this question around like replayability and why Donda will have a lasting effect months from now, a year from now, multiple years from now. When you go back and like, okay, you look at Kanye's, you know, track list, you know, catalog. Yeah, Donda. Well, I'm not sitting here about to rate where it lands in Kanye's track list. That can be another framework for another. Excuse me, in Kanye's catalog. That can be another framework for another time. But I think that the replayability between these two albums definitely, those two songs for me set the tone as an example of why it has more of a replayability than Certified Lover Boy.
Hmm. This or that? Originality.
Originality definitely goes to Donda. The framework is
Mm.
giving originality to Donda. And I think that originality, not in every case, but we'll say in this for the sake of this conversation, excuse me, the originality of Donda. When we spoke earlier about the cohesion of albums and the difference between the two, Donda got album in terms of this or that, and I think that that really exemplifies the cohesion of the album exemplifies why Donda Its original properties exemplify why this album, is more of an original album. And I think I even said this earlier that Certified Lover Boy sounds like, I didn't say this earlier. It sounds like Drake took a bunch of songs, but also he's doing what Drake does. He takes a bunch of different styles and flows, and he got his Midwest style, he got his Texas style, his ATL style, his New York boom bap style, and all these different things and different R&B styles, whatever, and puts it together. And I don't think it's any more or less original than previous Drake albums. I don't think it's any more or less original than kind of what's in the market right now with other artists. So without a doubt, Donda gets the originality. He did a fucking Christian rap album. This is one of the most controversial artists of our generation. And he'll go down as one of the most memorable, whether you remember him for the best or the other, right? And he goes out and does a Christian rap album, or Christian album, because it's rapping and singing, and it's original.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you want to add
Um,
to that? I know you got some thoughts
I
about
would
that.
say, I would say, and this is gonna sound like a critique, but Drake's album sounds repetitive. Um, and some of the songs either sound like older Drake songs, sounds like things we may have heard from Drake before. Even the content, even the lyrical content. He's rapping about exes, he's rapping about like lost love, new love, he's rapping about girlfriends and dates and having money. And it's like, yeah, I think what Kanye did in this album was original in a sense for Kanye. He was rapping, he was bringing people rapping about different things. It was a Christian rap album, so the subject matter is God, religion, belief, faith, praise, but the way in which you were able to bring all these people together, I think this reminds me of, and not the same way, but the way he brought in like his first album, where he has songs like Two Words, where you have rappers who you would not expect to be on the same song together. You know what I mean? Like he has the ability to put them on certain songs together and make them sound great, which is very interesting. So it goes to Donda, which also leads into the next category, which is versatility. It also goes to Donda for the same reasons. It was versatile. The songs sound different. Every song, there is no song outside of the part twos, which are we consider more like remixes to the original songs. Every song sounds different. Every song different melodies, different tempos. It isn't the same flow. It isn't the same kind of topic. Even though it is a focused Christian album, it's like, yo, people are rapping about different things. They're rapping about themselves. They're rapping about their belief, their experiences, and the experiences of different people are different. Um, so there,
Right.
and I'll let you have the final say on that, and then we're gonna move on to our track recommendations, and then we're just gonna go with our like fire, uh, quick fire questions that we thought about. It was like, it'll be good to ask people this, what they think in the comments to put out.
Rapid fire round. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, no.
Yeah.
Bring us into the this the song recommendations segment.
Okay. So for CLB, Certified Lover Boy, we had a list of songs and we're like, check these songs out. If you're not really big on listening to whole albums, oh, I'm not really a fan, I don't really do all that, it's all good. We're going to recommend some songs that you just check out for different reasons. So if you like melody, if you like lyrics, if you like crazy beats, if you like good features, if you like certain artists, hey, check these songs out and see if it gives you a little bit of what you want, right? So for
Right.
CLB, we have Champagne Poetry, that's one. Poppy's Home, that's two. Love All with Jay-Z, that's three. Fair Trade with Travis Scott, that's four. TSU, Pipe Down, Yeba's Heartbreak or Yeba's Heartbreak,
Hmm.
which to me is a missed opportunity on a song to go crazy. No Friends in the Industry, Knife Talk with 21 Savage, Turn You to a Booty Clapper. It's lit. Um,
Wait,
I
can you
don't
give more
know.
context to that real quick so that people
It's a
who may have
bar.
not
It's
heard the
one of the
album understand?
wildest. Look, that song has one of the wildest bars on the album. 21 Savage said, Chopper turned you into a booty clapper, which is like, yo, that is 21 Savage has some savage lines in some of his verses, and we had some savage lines in the song we did a review of on J. Cole's album, My
Right.
Life. Check that out. His verse was kind of crazy, but he had some crazy lines on that song too. We send the mamas teddy bears every time we make the moms cry, something like that. It's like, well, yo, he's wild. So to keep going, 7 a.m. on the Bridle Path, where Drake is rapping like Drake, he's doing his thing. Race My Mind, Fountains, which is an Afro beat, sounds amazing. Get Along Better, You Only Live Twice with Rick Ross and Lil Wayne, Effing Fans, and The Remorse. That's a lot of songs. We're recommending to check these albums out. We're not telling you one is good or one is bad. We're listening and we're trying to find what is the positives, what are the strong points, what are things that people might want to check out if they want something a little different, or if they want to be like, okay, I could play this, I can give this a shot. And now for Donda, we have Off the Grid, we have Hurricane, we have Praise God, we have 24, Heaven or Hell, Okay, Okay, parts one and two, Believe What I Say, Keep My Spirit Alive, Jesus Lord with a crazy verse from Jay Electronica, Remote Control, which I think Chance is on that song, which is kind of cool. It's very vibey. Moon is another one of those like vibey, feel good kind of like you don't know. It's not rap, it's not R&B. It's some type of just aspirational, maybe, which could be cool. Lord, I Need You. I would even throw Jail Part One and Two for the verses from Jay Z and the Baby to get a sense of where they are on those songs. The hook is probably one of the best hooks. Guess who's going to jail tonight? Um, that's to me that's another Kanye like skill where we're all liars. Guess who's going to jail tonight? That's to me is like a thing that Kanye can do really well. He has those very funny, fun kind of things that jail is not fun, so we're not advocating it or anything like that. But it's just one of those kind of like I pulled over, I got priors. Guess who's going to jail? It's kind of like one of those you could laugh at it like and you'd be a little bit shocked, but it's Kanye, so you expect him to say something wild, but it's also entertaining. Um, yeah, those are the song recommendations. How do I feel about these songs? If you have any other song recommendations from in either album, please feel free to put those in the chat. Please feel free to let us know if you don't like any of the songs we are recommending to check out. All we're saying is check those out. We're not telling you they're the best or the worst songs or the greatest or these are fire or you're going to play them every day. You're going to add them to your playlist. But we wanted to make sure those things are there. Uh, Now we have this rapid fire where we are going to basically ask questions and then we're going to try to answer them. So I'll ask you a question, you answer it, then you ask me a question, I'll answer it. We'll just go back and forth. How does that feel? I can't hear you because I think
Right.
your mic is off, sir.
You
You
know
out
why?
here.
Because I was
You
talking
was
shit
cursing
for
me out under
real,
the
for
breath.
real.
You was cursing me out under your breath,
I'm
wasn't
not
you?
even gonna. I wasn't. I'm not even gonna repeat it because clearly it wasn't meant to come out. Yes,
Respect.
let's go with what you just said. Go
You
ahead.
want
You
to
fire
start it
off
off?
the
You want me to
first
start
question.
off?
You asked
Okay.
the first question.
Which album had the toughest beat?
This was such a fun. I love having conversations about good beats and good production. So the framework believes that Hurricane off of Donda is the best beat off of either album. Champagne Poetry was heavy though, which is the
Mm.
lead track on Drake's album. But listen, when you go to Donda, you're talking about Hurricane, Off the Grid, Praise God. I mean, these beats just felt like orchestrated. You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't feel like they felt like they had a combination of Kanye's old style and new style, and we know that he has a team of producers. It's not like that old Kanye that was punching the MPC, whatever, whatever. So that is very much acknowledged. That speaks to what we hear now in his later sounds. But Hurricane, best beat on either project.
Yeah. Um,
And, and sorry, did you want to add to that, or you ready for the next
I
question?
would just say the weekend just assists the beat and helps you steal somebody's girl. So just think about that.
So, what say you about which album? So funny. Which album had the better Jay Z verse? Are
So
you thinking?
we going with Donda Jail. I think the jail verse sounded a little bit more cohesive. I think the Love All verse was cool, but the jail verse, it sounded like Jay put more energy into it. He wanted to throw a couple of lines in there, the rebirth of the throne, the this is what Braille looks like.
Mm,
He had a couple of
mm,
lines in there. So yeah, you ready for the next question?
yep.
Which album had the best feature?
Wait. I'm sorry. Before I answer that, I'm looking at the comments. So Gons, he's with us. He just said he thinks that Donda had better production. Period. Yes. And our earlier this or that question, we agree with you. Donda definitely had the better beats, better production overall. Not just the beats, but the sounds that accompanied the album. Gons thinks that we're smoking. He thinks the framework is smoking when talking about the question of which Jay Z verse was better. He thinks that Jay Z's verse on Love All from CLB was better than Jail.
Great.
So we're smoking and we should go to sleep as a result. So
Respect, respect. Maybe he'll come on one day and he'll break down both verses and tell us why the bars in one is so crazy. And yeah, I don't mind that. I think that would be great. Let
and
us
while
know in
we're
the
smoking, it
comments.
should go to sleep.
Yeah. Let us know what line you liked best. That's what we want to know. What was the line that was like, yo, this line is crazy? The violence line on Love All is fire. The I could destroy you. It takes some discipline. That line is crazy too. So we're not saying one is just trash. Oh, now he's saying Jay's verse
He's
on
saying
Donda
that
was
one is
trash.
just trash.
He's out here. He's out here doing everything. So shout out to Gons. We coming back to the next question. You ready?
Go ahead.
We said which album had the best feature.
No.
Which album had the best feature?
So again, we're going Donda, The Weekend on Hurricane. You alluded to this a moment ago. So I'm gonna tell y'all a quick story, super quick. Damien got to the Donda album before I did, and so when it was time to start thinking about what songs we wanted to do some short reviews on, he had Hurricane queued up. And by the time I'd given my first listen, but it's a long ass album, so it takes a really dedicated time to listen to it thoroughly multiple times to really not just be talking off of one listen. But he's right, yo. The more I've listened to Hurricane, the more I really truly appreciate not only how the weekend sang, but what he had to say on it. And yeah, you say it, sir. You tell the people your thoughts because you're the one who put it to my ears, literally. So what say you?
It's stadium music. I think Kanye's
Yes,
album
you
has a
said
lot of
that.
stadium music. But what I would say is, hey Sam, how's it going? Look, if you ever felt like you wanted to, like, yo, you shouldn't be with them, I got a man positive K, all that, what your man got to do with me, any of those thoughts. Any of those old school R&B songs from the 90s with Jodeci and Boys to Men where they stealing stuff. They just taking, singing. Any of the five heartbeats when they on the floor singing to the dude, married dude, and they just taking, and the dude got up and walked away. All of that, that's it. You get it from the weekend, you get it from that song. They just harmonizing in your ear, like, what, wait, get out of here with that. But your girl is like, oh, this is beautiful. And then you like, yo, you looking at her like, what you mean? You second guessing how she reacting. Um,
Right. So yeah, I agree totally with you. So next question, I'm ready to jump right into this next
let's
question
do
because
it.
I'm really anxious for you to talk to the people about this. Which album had the better lead performance? Drake
So we
with
have to
CLB or Kanye with Donda?
we have to always think about the fact that albums are created by the artist. It's a J. Cole album, it's a Kendrick album. So they should be the highlight of the album. Um I don't know if either one of them were the highlight of the album, but if you ask me to compare, which you're not necessarily asking me to do, Drake's performance on CLB was better than Kanye's performance. He had 7 a.m. on the Bridal Path. He had Champagne Poppy. Champagne Poetry. He had Poppy's Home. He had TSU. Certain songs where he's doing Drake very well, and it's important to know those things. And Kanye wasn't the highlight of his album. On a lot of songs, he was just there. I think Kanye is an amazing producer, and you listen to the beat and how he put everything together, but you hear other verses from the other artists, and I don't know if there's a song, and you can correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. Let me know if there is a song on Donda's album where Kanye had the best verse, if there has features on it. So that's a question. I would say just
Mm.
if you watch this back, let me know in the comments. You're like, no, this song Kanye had the best verse. You can't tell
I
me he had the best verse on Hurricane.
I
Can't say that.
personally don't appreciate you asking these fire ass questions that we didn't discuss in pre-pro. What the
No,
fuck?
we letting
Nah,
it
fuck it.
happen.
That's a great
You
question though.
asked me though. You asked me. Blame
Did
yourself for
Kanye have
asking
no?
me.
But you, there was a question that led to an amazing question that I'd love to get feedback on. Did Kanye have the best verse on any of his songs? That is a great question.
Mhm. Now we can ask that same question for Drake, but Drake has songs where he rapping by himself and he's going off, so we gotta respect that too. Um, let's go to the comments real quick. CLB had that Wayne verse. Yes, there is a song with Wayne
Did have that Wayne verse. Rick Ross.
and Rick Ross.
You only
That
live
Wayne
twice.
verse is crazy. It
Is it?
is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool, but that wasn't the best feature. That wasn't the best feature.
That
Best
might be the best
verse
rap
might be the
feature.
best rap verse on Drake's album, but it ain't the best feature.
Correct.
Regardless. Look at
Correct.
and look after that, God's done said Donda is greater than CLB, and he said CLB is sleepy, but now he going on the waivers. You got to pick one. We asking you, Gons, to pick one. You can't do all that. You can't have it all. We doing a this or that, and you giving us everything. He like, nah, it's this and this and this and this, and I want both. You supposed to have your
Sicilian
cake and
way
eat it,
to die.
but we not
Choose
talking about
one.
cake. Exactly. Nah, you bug, you bugging. But I respect that opinion. Wayne was up there in terms of best feature. He was in the discussion, but it's hard to look honest. And if they perform, if Kanye goes on tour with this album, and you see him the weekend, little baby, get up, and the weekend start doing that harmonizing with that beat, you tell me what happened. Now we said best.
Nah, we said best feature. We said
We
best
said
feature.
best feature. We said best feature. Why you he said he hate us? How you hate us? We said best feature. You what you mean? Let us know.
But this is why the framework is what the framework is, because we always want to make sure once the questions are answered, as long as we know we're having the same conversation, then it's fine. Whatever, I can live with what you say. You can hopefully live with what we have to say, whether we're talking on our own behalf or we're talking on behalf of the framework. But no, we did say the best feature, not the best rap
And
verse.
it's important to think about this too. Now I got a question for you, Gons. You let me know who had the best rap verse between Andre 3000 on Life of the Party or Lil Wayne on You Only Live Twice. What's up? Now we gonna put you on the spot. It does mean that. We didn't want to let y'all know about the second meaning of the framework shirt. But you right. What's up with that second question though? What verse is better? Andre 3000 verse on Life of the Party or Wayne's verse on You Only Live Twice? Now we putting you on the spot. Since you got all this to
Right.
say, you got all the comments, you got the chat lit. You telling us we smoking, we need to go to bed. We look, now
Right.
what's up? What's up? Don't mess up your internet. Don't rip out your Ethernet or anything. Answer that question. We gonna hit you up after the show too. If you don't answer, we gonna hit you up anyway. So you might as well answer it live. Let's go. Let's keep going
Yeah.
while he thinks about it. He thinking about it.
w-
He in the room like this.
He said, no, he just answered. He said 3000 had a great verse and was heartfelt, but I'm going to Lil Wayne verse for replay. Bars, that's me though.
You telling me Wayne had a verse, had a bar better than the poster boy for big dick niggas raised by their moms? A bar better than that bar? We go, we gonna get Gons on the Gons. We need you on the show, like in the next couple of weeks, bro. I gotta hear why those bars, the bar about I think her mother knew, but she let us explore when he talking about studying and having what?
In the church, you nasty little motherfucker.
Oh my god, we gonna have to talk about this. And we talking bars now, right? Am I not talking bars? Am I talking about something else? Am I not speaking about the bars that Andre 3000 had on that song?
But this
The
speaks to what we said. But wait, can I just say something? This speaks to what we said in the short form for Life of the Party. Andre's mastery over lyricism makes the complex seem so simple. And I think that that's being overlooked. If you could say that Wayne had a better verse than that Wayne's verse on CLB was better than 3000's verse on Life of the Party. That's my thoughts.
so we're about to finish up. So I do want to run
Yep.
off one last question. All right, we
I,
both can. So look, Disco Gons, we gonna hear that too. All right, what album had the toughest bars? So soon.
I mean, there's a lot of bars you can choose from, but the one is so it's funny. Y'all treat y'all Lord and Savior like renter's insurance. You know what I mean? Baby Keem, the weirdest verse of the year up to this point. It had so many dead spots, and then it had a lot of good spots.
We outside. We outside.
Yeah, that Baby Keem verse on Praise God. Oh my God, it was a very fascinating verse. But that the delivery on that bar. Now listen, there's a million. Drake had a bunch of heavy bars on CLB on the songs that he was rapping on. Wayne had several bars in his verse on CLB. There was a lot, but we're giving this one to Baby Keem.
Baby Keem might have had the second hardest bar too. When he said a single black mother, you notice she petty. Like that's another. Like he might have had the two hardest bars on both albums, and that's respect. That's we could have that discussion because you was talking about how wild Wayne's verse is gone. What's up with those lines? Those are the hardest bar. Wayne did not spit a bar harder than that. He didn't. Wayne went off though. We gave Wayne his respect too.
For
Um,
sure, for sure.
so next time we do this, we're gonna have people in the show with us doing this or that, and we're gonna ask them to answer this question themselves. We did it ourselves. We played the game with y'all so y'all could watch and observe. But when we start getting our special guests on, we're gonna play this or that with y'all. So be ready for this. Oh, he said he gotta go back to Keem. Respect. Go back to Keem and listen to. He had a 3 or 4 bars in that verse. Fire. Then he had some bars. He followed up the Lord and Savior bar with bada da boom and bada da bing. We was like, what? He really did that. It's like it's like in those old school animes, they do the big super attack and then they mad tired after they need to recover. He was like, I'm hit you with the craziest bar. Now I need to rest. He took a break real quick. He's like, I'm gonna take a
Good
break.
analogy. Good analogy. Yeah, we got you on pre-pro. We're not going to just bring you in. We'll let you know what
Yeah,
the
yeah.
things and
We'll
the
let you
things
know if
are.
we're gonna play the game. We'll let you know what the this or that will be. We're not gonna let you know the questions because then you're gonna be able to like sit down and research. You're gonna come with your notes. We doing this off the top. We doing this on the spot. Really, like we just gonna have them questions. Gum City is in the chat going crazy. You girls like girls, what you talking about, Gum City? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Gum City is out here sharing some knowledge. No friends in the industry. You out here spitting your own bars, or you talking about song titles? Let me know. Oh my God. Shout out to Gons.
You see that?
I'm gonna leave that up there. We just gonna leave it there. Let it rock. Gones, put a link to your stuff in the chat though. Please do that. We definitely want everybody to like, comment, subscribe to us, but we want y'all to share your stuff as well. Support each other. This is how we all grow. To be honest, this is how we all grow. This is how we build with each other. We appreciate everybody who comes out and supports us. We just wanted to have a little bit of fun with y'all and talk about these two albums. They're very popular. Shouts and respect to these artists, because it's hard to critique an artist because art is made for whoever enjoys it, to be honest, and it's how you interpret art. So
Yep.
it's very important to think about that. So we're not here just trying to bash or say one is better than the other. Somebody's cool, somebody's whack. And the other thing I wanted to say, that we're not trying to make this part of any type of beef, because there is these rumors running around that these two artists have issues with each other. Um, we are not going to deal with the speculation, and they're not looking to do anything. They're not talking about each other in a public way in forms of violence or any type of trying to discredit each other. So at the end of the day, let's not use words like that. I would say if
And
we say that they
it's
have competition, if they're competing with each other, they're fighting for the top spot or something like that, or they're trying to make themselves come out on top as the better artist or the better person right now, that's very different than people saying that these artists have beef, like they have real personal issues with each other, they're trying to enact some type of violence, things like that. It's very important to distinguish between those two, and this is why the framework exists, so we could be talking about the same thing. There's no beef. They're not making diss records about each other. Even if they say something slick, we've all said slick things about people at different points, especially if you're an artist and you're making music. You make references when you say certain things. You know what I mean? So let's try to limit that. I would say when we have these conversations, we can have them in fun, and we just try to have that this or that in fun. Final thoughts.
Yeah, I was just going to say I'm not about to get on the soapbox, but this all speaks to a larger conversation that I'm always having with myself more than anybody about making active decisions on what we choose to give our attention to and not. I don't give a fuck about none of that. Jay is on both their albums. Cuddy, who is Kanye's longtime, I guess, friend, collaborative, whatever you want to call it, was signed to his label, is on Drake's album. Like, they ain't beefing. I don't got time. If they are, I don't give a fuck. Like, if it creates good music, then I give a fuck. But other than that, like, I just want to hear if they're putting out good music. That's all I really give a fuck
Bro.
about. So
Yo.
uh, we appreciate everybody tuning into the framework. As always, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Our subscribership is going up, our viewership is going up, and we appreciate y'all for tuning in, for chiming in, being a part of the conversation, for sharing with those who you think are interested in these things. As we said at the beginning of the show, you can go to www.shopsosoonish.com to purchase your TF logo shirt, or the shirt that Damon is wearing, which says the framework, we bring reason and logic to the barbershop, with the framework logo on it. Or you can go to learningtoquotemyself.com/shop, which is Damien's site. The shirts are $17.99. You can donate to our individual cash apps. All those things go to all framework stuff. We're not pocketing this money for our own personal. I support my own sneaker addictions. I don't use framework money to support that. We just continuing to try to expand, and we appreciate y'all being a part of the ground floor. That is never forgotten. So thank you all, and be on the lookout for more short form content coming very soon. Gons, you will appreciate that we have a Redman review coming out so soon, pun intended. So be on the lookout for that, because I know you rep Jersey heavy, and you will definitely appreciate what we have to say. I'm sure you appreciate the song, but I'll tell you offline. I don't want to give it up yet. I don't want to reveal it. Just be on the lookout
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah. Outside of that, like, comment, subscribe, yo. Framework, where we bring reason, logic to the barbershop, and our sign off is you bring the topic, we bring the framework.